One of the root causes of success in any business is funding. Cash flow is king, credit is the queen. And today, I have two experts that not only are building their own businesses, their own portfolios on those very same fundamentals, but they're going to go a little bit more in depth about some of the things that they have done in business, not only for themselves, some of the mistakes, some of the successes, some of the ups, and many of the downs that may be of relevance to you. As you know, as your strategic partner, I aim every single day to bring you the best of the best and give you most of the tools and resources, and of course, the relationships that I have established over the years to have created the businesses and the companies that we've accumulated over the last 15 years, just about. And we've done about $2 billion of sales. Now, that is not something that is a reflection of me personally. It's a collaboration of organizations and people all around the world. And today, I give you an inside look of some of the most meaningful and powerful people that I have in my corner today and getting ready for 2023. I hope you're ready. If you're an entrepreneur, let me know in the chat. This is the end.
I've caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Of the ME show. Can you hear me okay?
The audio is very, very blotchy. Like you cut out in and out. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the recording, but yeah, the audio is very blotchy.
Okay, I'm gonna connect my microphone in just a little bit. Is it still botchy? Is it still cutting in and out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, do me a favor, Bryan, if you can hear me loud and clear as I'm going to connect the microphone in just a second. I would love for you, if you can steal the thunder, let everybody know a little bit about your background. And of course, Eric, as I'm connecting and fixing this technical. But ladies and gentlemen, hear them out and hear who they are, what they represent, and then I'll be right back.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet everybody. My name is Bryan Davis, and I am the Director of Operations for MI5 and co-owner of Grand Rising Financial. Very good pleasure to meet you all today and be here with my partner and business partner, Eric Malysa. Him and I have been collaborating together and known each other for several years. And Ollie invited us onto the show, and we're excited to share a little bit more behind the curtain in terms of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully Ollie's microphone and the technical issues there get resolved. And who knows, maybe that on your end, Ollie, the recording will come out just fine. But just a little bit of a background behind myself. I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. I've been in the space for the last 5 years around particularly passive income streams, financial trading, the world of credit and consumer law. And me and my business partner, Eric, are working diligently with multiple corporations as well as individuals and communities across the globe and helping bring liquidity and helping bring resources for wealth creation. That's our area of specialty. We love creating wealth for individuals around us and educating people on some of these core wealth principles. So I'll leave it at that, and we can go from there. Eric, I guess if you want to put a little brief bio on yourself while Mr. Ollie is
Sure.
technical difficulty inclined here, we'll go from there.
So, yeah, so I'm the Director of Research and Development with MI5. I have a background in entrepreneurial. I've owned a freight forwarding business, an engineering IT company, primarily consulting for GE Healthcare, medical devices, medical imaging, cardiovascular. And then I wound up in finance, and then always had an interest in systems and just creating residual income. I have a 17-year-old daughter, so I'm raising her myself. So it's really important for me to create that kind of system where I can pass down to her, and she can benefit from everything that I've struggled through. And it's always the generation coming after us is going to do better. So that's really where my passion is making sure that she's successful.
Check in 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Excellent.
Okay.
And now we've got the.
All right. So
There we
lesson to self: don't trust the computer by itself. Always have your microphone with you. But I'm really, really excited, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are as well. You've heard a little bit of the background of Bryan and, of course, Mr. Eric. These two gentlemen have come into my life, first of all, vaguely early on, about a year ago, with you specifically, Bryan, through a trade-in and a network marketing opportunity that we were kind of collaborating on, and things kind of took a different direction that we as well have taken our own different direction. But then we reconnected and recircled back on just the idea of understanding what are the possibilities in the financial sector. And one of the things that I want to, first of all, give you kudos. You've just been documented as one of the top 10 entrepreneurs to watch out for in 2023. So congratulations on that street cred. But you also are working not only with Eric on MI5, but you have so many different initiatives of the different individuals that you are collaborating with, that you are attempting to create something magical, incredible with. So tell us about some of the initiatives that you are extremely excited about right now with MI5. And then, of course, we want to dig in a little bit into the different areas that entrepreneurs can take advantage of. But I'm definitely intrigued to hear a little bit more about, how it even came about. I know the story, and it's definitely exciting on what MI5 really stands for and what it represents. But I'd love to hear from you guys and your own perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that, MI5 is the collaborative effort of not only myself and Eric Malysa, but also about 14 other individuals that started a mastermind back in the earlier part of this year, 2022, in April. And really, all of us had been on very similar journeys prior to connecting and forming this mastermind in April of 2022. And we recognized that out there in the world of the internet, right, the world of that we are all very much a part of, that there's a lot of garbage. And we had all experienced exposure to this garbage, in terms of information, in terms of mentorship, in terms of financial opportunities, even education. And we kind of sought out to change that narrative with our company, MI5. And for those that are listening in today, that there's a reason why we have a shield in the logo. If you're viewing this, you can see it behind us on the screen. But we sought out to create a community of people that were protected from all of this, this information that wasn't worth paying attention to, and really navigating people through the process of key components and areas of their life, whether it's wealth creation, financial literacy, and education, and most recently, credit and consumer law, as you introed us in here today on.
Eric, I know that number 5 really represents a timestamp. Tell us a little bit about your goal within the first 5 years of anybody that comes through the program.
Yeah, it's millionaire within 5 years. And what we want to do is provide a roadmap through business automation and credit, right? Leveraging credit. They're able to literally within 1 or 2 moves create an income of over $100,000 a year residually. And that's doing that through private equity groups and our business automations that we have.
Love it. Can we dig a little bit into, there are many people who may be listening right now and who may say, I have no idea what that even means. What is private equity group? What is automation and credit? So let's, as I like to say, if my 5-year-old Sebastian or my 60-year-old mom are listening, how would we put it in a way that is simple for them to understand? I got to take action and I can capitalize with my own credit and with this automation system.
Yeah, I think that, the biggest thing to recognize is we live in a world of technology where there's so many resources available to us. So one of the things that Eric and I recognized was the ability to create residual income on your phone. And we've all had exposure to this from varying levels of degrees, right? Everyone's heard of the Robinhood app and the Coinbase app in the world of crypto, and everyone's heard of like these various opportunities. Everyone's seen the Facebook ads and the YouTube ads that talk about, you can start your own Amazon store today and make, 100,000 a month. Now, here's the thing. All of those things are very much things that are able to be capitalized on. But again, with 99% of it being garbage, you have to know how to find your way to the actual gems within the landfill. So Eric and I have leveraged not only, our own journey of a decade's worth of work, but leveraging the power of the mentors that we've come in contact with to really be able to come into direct access to executive leadership, people of high caliber, in some of these opportunities, direct owners of some of these automated business systems. So when we say automated business systems, when we say private equity, what are we talking about? We've got private family and friends only hedge funds that we're a part of that you have to be exclusively invited into. They're not something that you can go Google search. They're not something you can find on YouTube. And the reason we've been invited into these hedge funds is because we are in the inner circles of people that are allowing us access to it. And same thing when it comes to automated business systems. Eric and I spent over 6 months doing market research on over 200 different companies that deal with automated e-commerce. This is having an Amazon store. This is having a Facebook store. This is having a Walmart store. But again, in terms of what you're going to find is a lot of people that's, over promise and under deliver. A lot of companies that don't have the, scalable structures in place to take this to the masses. And a lot of people that are just kind of flopping stuff together. And that's the power of the internet, right? Is you can come off in a way that, perceives itself differently than what's actually behind the curtain. And so Eric and I with MI5 have done that legwork in discovering the correct roadmap to put somebody on in order to acquire wealth.
How do you kind of identify the company or so-called companies that may just flop and put something together just to look good, but they're not really delivering? You talk about overpromise and underdeliver, and then your organization, because the reality, we live in a market right now, or in a business world where marketing is everything, right? And I know that there's apps that I see every single day that I'm thinking, man, this could be a great innovative process. And, I'll buy into an app and whatnot just to realize like this is garbage. They marketed themselves really, really well just to get my $300 just to lead into, nothing. So can you advise the listener and the viewer on how do you educate the person to here's a good process versus not?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a lot of it comes with experience and through trial and error. Eric and I are humans too, so we didn't always have the access of the information that we do today. And we do lead first. We lead by example. So everything that Eric and I are involved in that we bring to our communities or we bring to other communities that we collaborate with, we have personally gone in, explored the opportunity, purchased into the opportunity, tried out the bells, tried out the whistles, test drove the car essentially, right? And drove it around for several thousand miles and made sure that it works, made sure everything is as it says it is prior to giving any exposure to anybody else within our, within what with our network. So this is kind of our trust and true method. And as time goes on, you start to recognize the boxes that need to be checked in order to have a solid opportunity. Is the company transparent? Can they provide data? Non-manipulated data from third-party sources to back up the claims that they're making with their marketing. All of these things, and then what type of relationship do you actually have, business relationship that you have with the people behind the particular project or the particular opportunity. These are all very important things, along with a whole slew of dozens of other things that we always look for.
Yeah. Eric, I know, you've seen a lot in this space. And, one of the things that I believe that is under-trained or under-educated is the importance of funding. And, you've mentioned that people can get the help they need via credit and automation. In what sense, if I wanted today, brand new day, brand new entrepreneur, what what would be the appropriate steps for me to take the best advantage of what MI5 is putting together?
Well, what I like about what we have is that we make sure that you have good credit standing. If your credit is not where it needs to be, then we also can take the steps to repair that credit and create a good credit profile. I never really understood how important credit was until I got introduced to our funding director, Trey Pinkerman, just opened up the whole world of credit to us and what you could do to leverage that. It's almost like really a cheat code in the matrix of what you can do with credit. And so if you don't have the credit, and see, our requirements are a 680 or higher, no late payments in 2 years, no bankruptcies, no charge-offs, right? So if it's not quite right there, then we have a great credit repair. We're not looking to, like a lot of other firms that will stretch it out and you'll have to pay for, years. We can get it done within months, because our goal is to get you to that point where you can get the business line of credit. Because you get that business line of credit, then all the doors are open to you to what we can offer you.
You know what I found out is that many people don't even understand that there's a personal credit and a business credit, and it's two different brackets, two different ways of operating. And that, that was a difference maker for me a couple of years ago. And I'll never forget it when I'm talking to this guy and he's talking to me about, what's your credit like? Your business credit like? And I'm like, what is a business credit? He goes like, yeah, it's you don't you have an LLC and don't you have a business register? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, what's the business credit associated with that? I'm like, I have no idea. And then I realized that there's this thing called business credit. And I mean, we went on to open a deli because of that one conversation. And it was a business credit that funded the whole deli here in New Jersey. So, it's definitely interesting. Bryan, I'd love for you to dig into Grand Rising. Give us a little bit about some context of how Grand Rising came about. What is Grand Rising Financial? And kind of share with us that story behind the story of, the organization itself.
Yeah. So, it's important to recognize that MI5, we just painted a picture of that, but Grand Rising Financial is the newer sister company for myself and for Eric. So we purchased Grand Rising Financial, which is a brokerage company that specializes in those credit services that we just spoke about, that Eric just spoke about. And similar to Eric, I had thought credit wasn't something that I paid attention to. I left my credit cards in my sock drawer. And we really have to take our hats off to Mr. Trey Pinkerman, who's our funding director, and bringing awareness to it. Yeah, he had been whispering in my ear for several years, really about the power of credit. And this just helps us, accomplish our vision much, much faster. And like you said, Ollie, not really recognizing that you yourself have credit in the world. But yes, if you start an LLC, how do you fund and grow that LLC to the next level? Well, it's through business credit. And I think one of the things that we recognize is that there's different levels of success when it comes to what one can accomplish through business lines of credit. So there's certain businesses that can acquire more lines of credit because they're considered low risk business types, as well as what type of relationships do you have with the bank. So one of the things that makes Grand Rising Financial different than other companies out there, because we see, if you have a business, you probably see advertisements for lines of credit, and you could probably go out and apply, but your results are going to be much lower than what you would get if you came through Grand Rising Financial. The reason for that is because we have these trusted and true and long-standing relationships, developed by Trey with top banks here in America. Chase, Bank of America, American Express, Capital One. And through these relationships that we have, we can put people directly in touch with regional sales managers to be able to have the conversation for acquiring business line of credit. And because we were the connector and because the relationship's established, average return on business line of credit is $50,000 all the way up to $250,000 in business line of credit. And this is even for brand new LLCs that just started last month and haven't even gotten off the ground yet. Which is truly an impressive infusion of liquidity here, for not only our roadmap for individuals and business.
That's fantastic. And obviously for anybody watching or listening, grandrisingfinancial.com, check them out. Tell them Ali sent you, but definitely check them out and see the great work that is being put forward. There's a lot of people out there that may say, okay, well, so should I just start a brand new LLC and then come see you tomorrow and you're going to get me some money? Or, would you advise a process instead of, because, unfortunately, especially in the United States, anybody who can get their hands on what they think, oh, this is free money, I'm just going to drop it on what I have and then it's going to grow on its own. There's, of course, a little bit of discipline that needs to be with the process. So just what would you advise somebody that is brand new today? All right, I got an LLC. Do I call you and come and get some money? Or is there a recommendation of who should or who shouldn't yet use this process?
Absolutely. I think that, mindset and individual, sort of headspace comes into consideration with anything in life. And, that's where MI5, really in the roots of where we started comes into play. And this is the same advice that we give to any client that comes through our doors. No, you shouldn't just start an LLC and you get $50,000 and not know what to do with it. You should come up with a proper plan of how you're going to use those funds to either scale your business or backfeed your business with one of the automated systems that we've provided, right? When we talk about automated e-commerce, when we talk about private hedge funds, when we talk about things like that, that's our model. And we offer that up to all of our clients, because now you've solved the problem that most businesses have, which is cash flow. Off the get-go, you don't necessarily have the cash flow. It takes a while for your business to become profitable. So when you start an LLC and you put your, lines of credit and you put that money to work where it creates instant cash flow, now you've got cash flow for your business and you can focus on what truly matters, which is growing and scaling your brand, whatever that may be, whether it's coaching, whether it's, fitness, whether it's you're an electrician. If you got a backflow cash flow system, automated e-commerce store, private hedge fund that's giving you a return on investment every month. These are the things that can kind of help alleviate those pain points.
That's amazing. Eric, from your experience, give us some of the fun stories of some of the clients or the people that MI5 or Grand Rising Financial has worked with and some of the impact that was created in the market.
Oh, one that really comes to mind that is near and dear to both of our hearts is this woman has a son and he's in a bad school system. And using our MI5 system was able to leverage that to create some residual income so she could put him into a private school, right? And because he was in a dangerous school system, and now, he's getting the education that he needs and also being safe, right? So that was one. A cleaning lady who in California, where a lot of jobs have disappeared and it's been really tough to find jobs, is now able to leverage our system and create a residual income and not have to fear about trying to find extra work and be able to provide for her family. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things that I'm sure you guys would agree, what we deal with as entrepreneurs, people talk about competition. I don't think there's competition. I think there's just collaboration and a versatile approach to different ways of handling things. But I think our worst competition as entrepreneurs is ignorance, right? Like people go in and say, oh, I'm going to YouTube for free information. I'm going to YouTube for, whatever. And, and what I tell everybody, like you're going to get crumbs instead of actually working with a chef that's going to work with you on a full recipe, right? So there's skepticism, of course. There's ignorance, definitely. But you guys have been getting some attention from some big profiled individuals, celebrities, influencer, mega huge names and brands. Even recently, there is, I don't know if it was supposed to be leaked or it was just gone, but yeah, Dr. Dre's son on one of your private webinars, and you guys were talking about the initiatives that you are handling. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Is that like within a non-disclosure agreement, or can we actually talk about that? Because I, this is a personal one for me. I love Dr. Dre. Just for the record. So, Doc, if you're listening, I'm still here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you said it right, Ali, is that the true value comes in the people that you connect with. So even, some of the higher end clients that we've started to have conversations with around helping them grow and scale businesses, such as Dr. Dre's son, Curtis Young. We had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago. Him and his partner, Monarch, are creating this, a couple of different side projects, and they recognize, even at the level of accomplishment and wealth that they're at, the power behind business lines of credit, the power behind using other people's money to fuel forward. Sure, you could take your savings account out, but now if your business doesn't have cash flow, or if it doesn't have success, you've just wasted the money from your savings account. So Eric and I have been blessed and fortunate enough to collaborate with some really high profile clients because our system works. And one of the things that makes our system not only appealing and attractive is the result, but we are also a results driven company, meaning that we don't actually charge our clients anything. When it comes to getting you in touch with the regional sales managers, looking over your credit report, coming up with a game plan, talking to you about your credit report, how you can touch it up and fix blemishes. All of that is free. We only charge the client once they cross the finish line, and we achieve the result for the individual. So this is a very attractive model, but it really speaks volumes, I think, to our sort of servant leadership approach in terms of we're going to provide value to you first, and then we're going to receive compensation after. So it's been a blessed and awesome journey.
Yeah, no, and I'm selfishly excited that I get to witness it from a front row seat. I'm excited that we're going to be collaborating a whole lot more to bring in this to the marketplace. I know that there are plenty of things that we're planning on doing together, that we are going to be doing together, and I'm just so excited that the right people, if you will, are going to have the opportunity to kind of collaborate with us even more as this message is going out even bigger and better. What would you say to the person who's like, what are the pros and cons? Are there any cons to this process? In other words, should I be cautious, in one way or the other, from your perspective as a mentor to the many? What would you advise somebody like, just be careful with? What would that be?
Yeah, I think that with anything, you have to realize that you need a solid plan. And, you shouldn't go acquire business line of credit and hit up the casino and throw it all on black. So it's like you have to be smart. You have to be smart, and you have to make sure that you have a good plan in place in terms of how you're going to use that capital to grow and scale your business. And I think one of the cool things is, because Grand Rising Financial's a sister company to MI5, that's what MI5 comes in and takes the cake on, is that consultative approach of creating those plans and creating those roadmaps for the individual and coming up with something that meets their needs, wherever they're at in life and whatever their goals are. We have solutions in terms of being smart with the path that they walk down, and we actually turn clients away if they can't demonstrate sort of, transparency behind what their plans are to do for these funds. Because at the end of the day, we want people to be responsible. We don't want somebody that's going to come in and be like, you know what, I'm a trader, I'm gonna throw it all on crypto because this thing's gonna go to the moon. And it's just like,
funny that you're saying that, because that literally was my question. I've seen people, they are looking and they reach out like, hey, I need funding. I'm like, for what? I have this automation system. I'm like, okay, first and foremost, is the automation system based on the United States? Yes. I'm like, dude, like, you're playing with fire just for saying that, because automation in the United States is a gray area, and many companies end up in the graveyard. Let's just call it for what it is. So it's very important, and I appreciate you having a sense of responsibility with your words and your approach. There are many people who look at funding as a lottery ticket, like, man, only if I can put my hand on 10 or 20 or 30 or $50,000, I have this system that can make me, 5 to 10% a month, and my money is just growing every single month. I get it. In theory, it sounds like a great idea, but there are usually many other variables that will take place, and we have to have some kind of guidance on how to leverage this. Whether Eric or Bryan, what is your perspective on the state of the economy today and inflation and then crypto and all of its ups and downs and craziness that are happening. I'd love to hear your perspective. Is it time to play it safe and slow down with acquiring finances and money, or this is the time to go all in and prepare for what could be the biggest hit financially yet?
This is all you, Eric.
I mean,
you speak to this well.
So definitely it's time to plan, right? And leverage what's out there. Like I said, this is like the cheat code to the matrix for creating wealth and being prepared. I've had somebody say, this seems so easy. Like it feels like I don't deserve it. And it's like, well, how is somebody supposed to, whatever you believe in, how are you supposed to get your blessings, right? Like this is something really is amazing. So we don't know what's to come, and we need to be prepared for it. And leveraging this to create automatic systems that create residual income for you, so you don't have to rely on your own income, is just going to be an added extra security.
Yeah. Eric, you've mentioned earlier that I believe actually Bryan, not Eric, you mentioned, the criteria is the 680 in credit, not having any late payments for 2 years, and having an LLC. What is the approach, or what would you advise for the person who may not have 680 credit right now, or may have a few patches here and there, late payments or whatever the case may be? Is that either you're in or you're out kind of approach? I know there's a credit repair process that you guys offer as well for that individual, but what is the turnaround if I don't have 680 in my personal credit and I have few late payments over the last few months or last few years or whatever the case may be? What is the approach, or what is the process for that person?
Yeah, I think that there is a different approach for every client. Some clients have a deeper hole to dig out of, so to speak. Like I mentioned earlier, I used to have $30,000 in credit card debt. So if I had come into this during that time in my life, I would have had to dig out of that hole before I could even be considered for business line of credit. And that is a daunting task for the person living paycheck to paycheck, as I was back in those days. And I think that we have strategic approaches in which we can guide and direct our people. So if it's credit repair and it's really only, it's not high utilization, but maybe you've got some missed payments, some collections on your thing. Yeah, absolutely. We've got a credit repair system that people that don't meet that criteria can enroll into. And as Eric mentioned earlier, we have stellar attorneys that can write really nice letters to the bureaus and various people that can help us out in achieving these results for our clients. So you're looking at, even if you had a bankruptcy, being able to be within good standing, oftentimes within 6 to 8 months, but if you're just a person with some blemishes on your report, a lot of times the turnaround is 90 to 120 days. Now, when it comes to high balances and having a lot of credit card debt, that's where Eric and I kind of shine also in our consultative approach towards providing strategic ways in which individuals can create income streams for themselves without putting too much work in. So for an example, Grand Rising Financial, we offer an affiliate system. So if you have friends and family that want to take advantage of, this business line of credit in our roadmap, and you would refer them into it, we'll actually give you 1% of all the funding that's achieved for those individuals that came within your network. So that's, if you've got 4, 5, 6, 7 people that, that would love to take advantage, that do have good credit and come through and get the funding, you're looking at $4, $5, $6, $7,000 potentially coming into your bank account, and now you're able to pay down your credit card debt. We come up with these little strategic. We have a whole Rolodex of them, about 10 different things that we could offer as alternatives for people to really take advantage of in terms of creating, and getting them in a position to move forward with this process. That's what we do.
Yeah, no, I love it. Eric, I know actually, all three of us, I'm not going to say we are per se hardcore religious people, but we are spiritual individuals. We're faith-based. Looking at where things are, over the last couple of years, and, it's been a hard hit for many individuals. I mean, God knows I lost all my grandparents during COVID, physically lost them. They're spiritually there forever. What is your hope to achieve? Talk about whether it's legacy, whether it's, the impact that you would want to see. What is that ultimate goal for you individually, Eric? And then, of course, I'll come back to you, Bryan, as well. As here is what I really, really want to do. Yes, making money is great. Building business and companies is fantastic. But here's my selfish legacy or purpose through this company.
Well, I mean, MI5, the purpose of it being created was to help people live their best lives, right? And give back to humanity. So we work with people individually, and we hope that by allowing them to be able to create these systems of financial freedom and time freedom, they can give back to the world and make a difference. And that's what I want to pass on to my daughter so she can live her best life. And whatever that is, and whatever is going to, if she wants to be a writer and she has these systems in place that's creating financial freedom for her, and then she can give back by writing great pieces of writing.
Goals.
Absolutely.
Bryan.
For myself, it's very similar. There's a lot of synergy between all of us, Ali, Eric, and myself. I think that, purpose and what is your purpose and how do you make an impact on people? I've always been a person that's loved to have positive impact. And that's always been a part of my purpose. And honestly, my journey is just beginning. With this partnership with MI5 and with Grand Rising Financial, it's just the starting point. But really what we're looking to accomplish, Eric said it best, is allow people to become the best versions of themselves, through getting exposure to the circles that we have exposure to and being a part of the community that we have, that we are a part of. And then through becoming the best version of themselves, teaching them that financial literacy and connecting the dots on the education and the missing, bits of information and the pieces, and helping them connect those dots so they can go on and create that financial freedom for themselves. Eric and I are blessed enough to have created that financial freedom, and we want to pass that on to others because we feel like a lot of people are stuck and a lot of people struggle. As I mentioned, I've lived paycheck to paycheck before, and I was hella creative and very, very, focused on, wanting to make an impact, but I couldn't because I was stuck. And we feel like there's a lot of creativity out there that just sort of bows down and accepts the rat race, accepts that they're going to have to go to college and get into college student loan debt and go get the mortgage and then make the payments and live for those couple weeks a year where they can have the vacation to then maybe spend with their family and loved ones. I think one thing that came out of the pandemic that sticks with me to this day, especially because I was in the rat race and I, got laid off from my job and had 6 months of unemployment, is recognizing that importance of that free time and how it's spent was just an awakening. And I think a lot of us felt this. And Eric and I just wish to provide this for as many people as we can, because we really do think that the world is a better place when people are allowed to express themselves in a creative fashion. And financial freedom is the backbone to being able to go out and pursue and fund your dreams. And actually funding your dreams is the slogan behind Grand Rising Financial.
Yeah. And just for everybody listening and watching, just please keep in mind, we're not saying either go materialistic life or you're not going to be happy, but here's the reality. The time-space reality that we are living in right now requires funding in order to do the things that we would want to do. If you don't believe me, even to the person who says, money is the root of all evil, I ask that person, why is there a trade that still goes in the church or the synagogue or the mosque? Because there needs to be funding that is going to still fund helping those missions, nonprofits, organizations, or whatever the case may be. So, it's not all about money, but you need it in our lifetime in order to achieve those goals and those resources that you want to create for everybody else. Gentlemen, I am so grateful for not only the opportunity to interview you, but also to get educated and to be, in this journey with you guys. I'm personally, championing for Grand Rising Financials and for MI5. I'm personally working with these two individuals inside and out in many, many different areas. So I'm putting my stamp of approval for those who will trust and give me the opportunity to work with every single day. Believe me, when I tell you, if there's an ounce of desire to take things to the next level, you need funding. If you are not in the financial or the personal situation credit-wise to take things to another level, you still need to reach out to these individuals, because whether you get funded right away or not, you may get some education on how to adjust your credit to prepare for the greatest things in life. I don't care about inflation. I don't care about deflation. All I know, things are good, and you create them as good as they can be. And if you have the opportunity to have the right people around you, and my 5 started with a mastermind with 14 people. See, the power of mastermind, you put the right people in the right room, magic happens. These two individuals have the goods, and they are the right people. You just need to take that first step and connect. So make sure that you visit today grandhorizonfinancial.com. That is grandhorizonfinancial.com. And just get educated. See what are your options. And you too can come on this show and brag about your business and the growth that you're creating. Guys, I'll let you have the final word for that one person who, no matter what we said today, that one person was like, yeah, I know what you're saying, Bryan, but you don't understand. What is your message to inspire and motivate that person to get off their booty and get to actual work?
Yeah, I think, Ali, you said it best, man. Money is not the determining factor of what we focus our attention on. It's simply the vehicle and the means of creating the lifestyle that we need in order to accomplish the goals and the dreams in which we have. And whoever it is, I don't care who you are, every single person on this planet has some sort of desire or has had some sort of a dream or has had some sort of a passion at one point in their life. Maybe they lost it, or maybe it's still there in the background. So really, Eric and I, and MI5 and Grand Rising Financial, we are the people that help people accomplish and go after and obtain those dreams, that passion, that desire that lives within each and every human on earth. And we are very, very much empathetic and very understanding towards everybody. And we love, I think one of the things that keeps us excited, there's often days where Eric and I work for 18 hours a day, but we're still going with just as much enthusiasm and just as much excitement because we get to meet all these extraordinary individuals all over the world and make an impact on their life and see that come to fruition and see that blossom. So we have a lot of blessings. It's really, so much gratitude is in our hearts for what we get to do on a regular basis. And anybody out there, it is not too late. You don't have to wait for retirement or wait till you're old and gray. You can take a step to go after what you believe in and go after what's true to your heart. And we can help you.
Love it. Mr. Eric, final word.
I mean, I think so. Bryan is really the face of the operation because he speaks so eloquently. Yeah, I mean, he really just sums it up. I mean, if you want to make changes in your life and you want to find and you want direction, we have that roadmap. And it doesn't have to be difficult to create wealth and create financial freedom and security. And that's what we discovered. And the most powerful systems are built on the least moving parts. And that's really, that's what it comes down to with our MI5 system. So if you want to make changes in your life and you really want to go after those dreams, come to us, check out Grand Rising Financial. We'll sit down with you and create a roadmap for your success.
There you have it. And speaking of change, remember, ladies and gentlemen, no change simply means no change. You have to take initiative. You can pray all you want. God will absolutely open the doors. You still need to walk into that door. You still need to evaluate what's in that room of that door. And it may be the right door right away. It may be just a door for a lesson before you get into the right room. So I appreciate each and every one of you for giving us the opportunity to talk, interact, and work with you today. And until next time, hey, Eric, hey, Bryan, tell them peace out, everybody.
Hey, peace out.
Hi, y'all.